Hello, Tim here in the music room uh, with days 23 through 27 of my 30-day final challenge. Yes, I've fell behind on my videos, and I also fell behind in my spinning because spending quality time with my wife, making up in because I fell behind in my homework after the rough days last week. Then I was sick on Monday. Then with Veterans Day, with me being a veteran, I've on to enjoy it some, and so I got behind on my spinning, and I finally got made up for that somewhat yesterday. But before yesterday, I had only gotten 6 albums spun between Saturday and through Tuesday. And then yesterday, throughout the day, I got 11 spun. So with that said, I want to get this done as quick as possible because I have to get back to studying and starting up my homework for this week. So let's get going. First up, on Saturday, it was pretty much a country day for me. I started off with Frankie Ling, Bent for Leather. I think this was around, shoot, I can't remember what year. I think it was around 61 or something like that. It's on Columbia. If I remember right, it's 6 I don't want to pull the album out. I don't like handling the vinyl as little as possible except to play it. Uh, this album, I like it. It just reminds me of some of these old Western movies, or that's what a lot of the music stuff from and stuff to like High Noon and Gunfight at OK Corral, Rawhide, the 310 to Yuma, the Hanging Tree, Mule Train, and I grew up watching the old westerns, watching it with my dad and grandpa. Next up, this is from an MCA from uh, '82. I got this from Mark Dr. Deadwax last December in the Black Swallow country. It's George Strait, straight from the heart. It's can't remember what. I think this might have been his first album. Yeah, has Amarillo by Morning on it, and it is a real good album. I said, it's early George Strait. So you can tell just by looking at it. Him on here. I just enjoy listening to George Strait, especially his early stuff. Now, this next one, another country one. It's from a Mercury from '84. It's a group that most of us associate more with stuff from like their '60s and maybe some from their '70s stuff. And they shortened their name some for the '80s. That's Statler. You know, also is known them as the Statler Brothers. It's the name of the album is Atlanta Blue. Uh, I like it because it still has their harmonies and stuff with the bass and everything that we all know and stuff. And I just enjoy listening to their harmonization and their singing. Okay, this next one is another one from the '80s, more country. And trying to remember, I think it's on Epic. Try and find the year now. Okay, it's from '83. and it's Ricky Skaggs, Don't Cheat in Our Hometown. And of course, this has a lot of bluegrass elements in it. A lot of people know Ricky Skaggs for his bluegrass playing, like a lot of fiddle in here, and then there's some steel guitar in here, and mandolin and dobro, and it's just a good, enjoyable album. It's country, but also with some bluegrass sound to it. And I just see. I also have like to listen to bluegrass. I've been to a bluegrass festival or two. And, that's what I had listened to on Saturday, and I didn't get any more spinning done until Tuesday. I only got a couple albums to listen to then. First one up, I don't know if, how many of you have heard of her, this lady. It's from 76 on Capitol Records. It's Ruby Star Steinsealer. If you haven't heard of her, she was with played with Black Oak, Arkansas for a while also. Sort of like you probably remember the Black Oak, Arkansas song Jim Dandy. Yes, that's Ruby singing on there, the female vocals on that. But down here she does that. It's a pretty good album. Like she does covers of on here with Maybe I'm Amazed, and also Drift Away on here, and she does Fistful of Love, which is was written by Black Oak, Arkansas, and she does have a blues, sort of like a blues sound to her, also at places on here. And also on here, Jim Dandy does sing some vocal on Fistful of Love. And also Tommy Aldrich and Jimmy Henderson from Black Oak, Arkansas appear on here. And the other album I listened to on Tuesday, another female singer on old records from, trying to remember, find the year, of course, it's 74. That's Carole King, Wrap Around Joy. This is the album with Nightingale and had Jazzman on it. And I like Carole King's music, her songwriting and her singing. And this album's no exception. This was produced by Lou Adler also. And like I said, I just enjoy her music, and so I can't say anymore. It's just enjoyable to listen to. Okay, here's somebody that I earlier on in during this 30-day challenge I had one of their albums. That's Baja Creek New Orchestra and John McLaughlin. This is Inner Worlds. This is from 76 on CBS Records. Strong with the synth sounds on here, and it's yes, there's some vocals on here. It's just a good all-out jazz rock album, and I just I thoroughly enjoyed this album also, and there's not much I can say bad about this. It's just some of the type of stuff I like to listen to. because I got into listening to synthesizer stuff back in the 70s. Because it wasn't as. In the 80s, they tended to take synthesizers a little overboard, in my opinion. In the 70s, I got into like Rick Wakeman and stuff, and in the 80s, and well, in the 70s, it's when they were really into playing with the Moog and stuff, and Mini Moog, and you hear that a lot on here, but I really like listen to Moog and Mini Moog. Also, you might hear banging away. They are doing some work in the apartment next door to me. Yeah, that's a banging you hear if you hear any during this video. After that, I listened to some of my lounge music. It's on Columbia from 67. It's Steve Lawrence's greatest hits. Of here he does like Go Away Little Girl and The Impossible Dream, Loving You With All Your Heart. It's just has some enjoyable lounge music. Some stuff to sit back with, throw it on, sit back with your significant other, and just sit back and enjoy the music. Let the mood take you wherever it goes. Next up, from 1969, Oliver, Good Morning Starshine. Of course, it has that song on it. This is on Crew Records. It has Good Morning Starshine on it, and it also has Gene, which it was from the prime of Gene Brody. They were both hits from off this album. On here, he also does a couple other covers. Like he does an interesting cover of the Rolling Stones song Ruby Tuesday, and also of In My Life, and the Beatles song, and of Joni Mitchell's Both Sides Now. And it's a good album throughout the album also. And speaking of covers, here's a country one where he does several covers, and some of them duets. This is from '82 on Columbia. Willie Nelson always on in mind, of course. That one was a song was a big hit for him, and in '82 he also does a Whiter Shade of Pale on this one with Waylon Jennings, and it actually sounds pretty good, their cover of it. And shoot, I forgot to check to see who he does the cover with Let It Be Me on here. He does a good cover of that. He also does a cover of Bridge Over Troubled Water on here. This album is pretty much a mellower album for him, but it's not a bad album. This is another album I had gotten from Dr. Deadwax. I haven't really been a big fan of his voice, but I'm starting to get acquired to his voice. I am starting to appreciate his singing a little bit more. This album helps out. It's not a bad album. Next up is some of my 70s pop bubblegum. That's one that I hadn't listened to the full album, but through the but I had pretty much heard around all the songs. Some that I didn't remember because it's music from a TV show that I used to watch around every week back in the 70s. It was a variety show. The show was Donnie and Marie, of course, Donnie and Marie Osmond, and of course songs like "Come On, Marianne" and a little bit country, a little bit rock and roll, and Deep Purple, and "It Takes Two," and of course they ended off with "May Tomorrow Be a Perfect Day." That's how they usually end off their show every week. But it is a good album. Brings back memories from when I used to watch their show back in the 70s. I know a lot of you that are around my age probably watched this show back then too. Since, especially if you're from places like me, where I was from northern Iowa, we didn't have cable TV in my hometown at the time, so we were pretty much stuck with the basic networks for watching TV. So we were limited on what we had to watch. So that was around the best thing on at the time. Next up, some folk music from '67 on RCA. It's Gwen Yarborough. For Emily, whenever I may find her. This is a pretty good album. It's a mono copy. It's on RCA Dyna Groove. And he does it's just a good folk album. Of course, he does For Emily Whenever I May Find Her, and he does like Tomorrow's a Long Time, the Bob Dylan song, where he is the rocking chair. A lot of the songs he does here are covers of other artists' songs, but it is a good album throughout. This the singing voice is a pleasant sounding voice and stuff. But I just enjoyed it. Next one up, it's from '79 on Columbia. It's a white label demo copy. It's Ron Wood, Give Me Some Neck. This is just a good all-out rocking album. I enjoyed this album all the way through it. It's can't say too much more about it. It just rocks all the way through. There's another group I showed like around their first album. This one's from '73. It's on MCA. It's Wishbone Ash, Wishbone Floor. It's another group that I just like. I just enjoy their music. Yeah, I have like 4 or 5 of their albums now, and I just enjoy all of them. And I hadn't listened to this before, and I've had this for several years. It was just sitting in my collection, and I finally, and I had like 2 or 3 of them like that, and I got a couple of the albums earlier this year, and I decided to listen to them. Those two, and it was, man, I really like these. And yet I hadn't pulled these out. Of course, I was getting ready to move at the time when I got those others too. And finally, I got these out when I was doing this series, this 30-day vinyl challenge, and I finally listened to them, and I just thoroughly enjoy them. Now, there are some of these couple of these I can't remember, or this one I can't remember whether I had listened to before or not. I don't think I had. It's from 1981 on RCA. It's Bob Welch's self-titled album. It's from 1981. Yes, it's the same Bob Welch that had been in Fleetwood Mac, and a few years earlier he had hit with Sentimental Lady and Ebony Eyes. This is a good rock album also, and on here he does a cover of the old classic Bend Me Shape Me on here too, and he does a pretty good job with that. And I enjoyed this album too. He does a good job here. He's hope that he could still rock on this one. I enjoyed it. Okay, next one from 1983 on American Gramophone. Mannheim Steamroller, Fresh Air 5. Okay, this one is like a space theme to it. It's like side one is pretty much subtitled To the Moon, and side two is On the Moon. I enjoyed this album. There's some, it's mainly instrumental. There's some like chanting to start off the album, but I really enjoy it. I like a lot of Mannheim Steamroller. Of course, they're better known for their Christmas music, but their Fresh Air stuff is pretty good. This is a gatefold. I like the picture on the gatefold also. But I just thoroughly enjoyed this album. Of course, Chip Davis usually does a pretty good job with his compositions and with this work on these albums. I know this is a longer album. I have just have this one last album left. This last album, it's on Elektra from 1980, and yes, I've known who this guy was ever since his hit Steel Away, which is on this album, and also Hot Rod Hearts. I never got any of his albums until I saw this earlier this year. I picked it up. I never listened to the album before. I finally pulled it out and listened to it yesterday. That's Robbie Dupree, 1980. It's just a good album all the way through. Like I said, Steel Ways on here and Hot Rod Hearts. And I just enjoyed it. Well, sorry about such a long video, but just that, like I said, I didn't have too many albums until after yesterday. Well, I only have 3 more days to go. That's counting today, tomorrow, and Saturday, and then after that, I'm done with the 30-day vinyl challenge. Well, hopefully I'll make one later tonight or tomorrow morning of today's binge. Well, I have to get going to get back to studying and homework, and I'll be spinning while doing that. So until next time, take it easy and keep on rocking.